Okay, this is MaddAddams again. Here I'm playing SeanB. I'm using the same deck again as in the last few games. Cornelius, Zina, Ambrosia. And once again, I'm up against Ubuntu. This one passed first turn. I start off by doing a rest just so that next turn I don't get the... Because if I do an attack, I can't move close. And he does a rain dance, which I thought was an odd move. I wasn't expecting it, certainly. And so I get close, and now he can't rest and get far and threaten a spiritual assistance next turn because the rain dance used 10 energy, and he's not going to have enough now. So I pull an intercept, just thinking maybe he's going. And this is not the typical matchup so far. I go for a Void Stream. I figure it's a fairly safe choice at this point. I'll still be able to get close if he decides to try and get far, but he switches out and brings in Juju, which is normally not a good matchup against Cornelius. Maybe, I mean, he very well could have been trying for a double switch, and I just didn't go anywhere, and that's certainly possible, and that can be a very effective tactic. And I figure he's probably not going to touch a Doom just because I have that Hypnostare. So I go with the Void Stream. It doesn't do a whole lot of damage. It does a little bit. You know, you hope for the tomes to proc just to get a little bit extra. But as it turns out, nothing. And then we're still here at close. And, you know, if the touch of Doom comes, it's generally going to come on the second turn. So I stare there just in case. Doesn't work. He switches out to Ubuntu again, and now he's playing by the rules and going far, putting that spiritual assistance down. I just rest because he's already gone for a few intercepts. I think he might go for another one, and he does. Pull it back close. Think about Void Streaming. That'll run me out of energy, so it's probably not a good time, so I just do a rest again. Hits me with a Staff Strike. Not too much damage. Not overly worried. The Rain Dance makes it 1 damage stronger. And I think right now I'm threatening Pile Bunker. He can't, unless he rests, he can't go far next turn and do the thing. Do Spiritual Assistance. So I think this right now is a very good time for me to get in Zina. I think she could maybe do a lot of damage, get a lot of hits, and so I go for that. I'm thinking I'm threatening Pile Bunker, so he's not going to go there. And he gets an intercept, and that was an amazing call, I think. Maybe I was transparent there. I'm not sure. But, so, I don't get my character in, and I've seen a Juju at this point. I'm starting to look at it, and I'm thinking CC and Zina have to be the ones to take care of Juju, because you don't want Ambrosia messing with that. It's just not a good matchup at all. It's really, really bad. And here he gets me with the Spiritual Assistance. Just doing a little damage to Ubuntu, trying to get him down, and I think he's probably going to rest and just try and Spiritual Assistance whoever coming in next, because it's not going to do much damage to Void Stream. No need to risk the intercept. That extra energy is worth a lot. So he can do Spiritual Assistance twice in a row, and that's not good for me, so I don't think I'm going to bring in Zina. I'm going to bring in Ambrosia instead, because she can actually move close and do some attacks, whereas Zina can't really. Her better attacks are going to be at far or at whatever range it happens to be at with the Eye of the Tiger. That doesn't work if you're the one changing the range, so I'm going to use Ambrosia just to manipulate the range here. That's all I'm doing with her. I'm just bringing her in very shortly. I know it's a dangerous move a little bit because there's that Juju, and I don't want Juju coming in on Ambrosia because that's dangerous. There's a lot of bad situations that can come of that. So I bring it close, thinking maybe he's gonna... I'm worried about switching out. I'm really worried about that. If I do a Spike Boot, I just feel like maybe he's not going anywhere. He does a Tiger Claw. which increases the critical rate. I'm a little surprised, at least in terms of the buffs that are being used. I figure maybe a lot of multi-hit attacks, but I mean, I guess Juju has Hex, but that's not the strongest attack against CC or against Ambrosia, and not so much against Zina either, really. Here I'm thinking there's no way he's going to intercept, because then he'll only have 20 energy, and that won't allow a spiritual assistance next turn. So I pull out and I get Zina in, and I start doing some frenzies. And I'm okay with eating 1 spiritual assistance. I don't want to eat 2, but 1, I can handle that if I can start really wrecking up his deck. That's not a problem for me. So I take the spiritual assistance, and notice I got a poison proc on Ubuntu. And this is really going to come down to the wire. And right when I do this one, I get another poison proc here on my second frenzy. My opponent at this point, actually, in chat, Sean, he made a comment about how I'm not lucky right now because I've been missing the unrevealed character in Juju a lot. Hadn't been doing a lot of deck hit damage, but I was concerned about Zina's immediate future, and in that it's in terms of killing Ubuntu. And she just did, because I got 2 poison procs, the death mask activated. Now I can do 1 more frenzy, and he's going to die before he can get that spiritual assistance off, and that makes her very strong. That's also going to trigger her Beast Feast. And then, just because of a particular way that the death mask works, if you kill and kill, you actually get a double Beast Feast. And that extra energy is definitely going to help me out here. I'm just checking to see whether the unrevealed opponent was dodging or missing or what. And it was just missing a lot. As you can see, he still has only 1 hit. And that's not a lot of damage to see on a character after 3 frenzies. I'm certainly vulnerable, very much so, to the poison dart. It's not an attack that is reliable, but it's definitely an attack that will kill her pretty fast. So I go right for an eye. I'm not sitting around going for the stun, and I get Juju instead of Taff, and that's exactly what I want, because I need Juju with very low hit points for Ambrosia to have a chance. And then I go just to try and get another shot off here, try and get a frenzy, make sure that I can get a little extra damage, but it hits, I'm out. Okay, now it's time to see if I can finish the job with Ambrosia. So I pull her in, and I'm thinking about changing range. This is where that 1 hit she took earlier makes a big difference. Otherwise, you can get close, try a spike boot against a hide. Maybe you'll hit and get the stun, and it'll work really well. Maybe it'll just whiff, and then next turn you can Vamp Kiss and get health right back after being ambushed and put Tefari in a really bad position. But instead, he leaves it far. I toss down some bleeding rituals. I toss 1 down there. And once again, think about going close, but if I go close, I have to immediately Vamp Kiss in order to survive the ambush. And I just don't like the way that spends my energy, so I'm going to gamble on far. Maybe he'll get some misses. Who knows? And then I get a Leafy Trap, which only works on my spiked boots. So that was like a free extra bleeding ritual as far as I'm looking at it right now. And I mean, that does definitely change the game if it winds up at close. That'll affect my Juju matchup in terms of, if he comes in soon. Now he gets close. And that was a little bit of a surprise for me. I'm thinking, should I intercept? Should I intercept? But then what I'm going to do actually right now is I look at the deck and I see, okay, Juju has 19 hit points. He'll heal 1 if he comes in. That'll be 20. He will not survive a Spectral Choke. And I did not think that he would switch that turn because of that. Because then if I chose Spectral Choke, Juju can't do Touch of Doom if Taff switched out on that, which would be a quick way to end the game, because there's no way I would kill them both in time. So I get 1 more bleeding ritual down, and he rested. And then I'm thinking about Vamp Kiss to get a little health back, but I'm still saying that was you know, I think he wants to put in Juju, so I call the intercept, and it works. And now we're going to watch Juju come in. And this is a match that favors Juju when they're at equal health, but since I got the extra damage on Juju, this is eventually going to go my way once I'm able to grind out enough bleeding rituals. And this took, I actually cast like 10 bleeding rituals. I didn't think it was worth showing this entirety. So right after this, I'm going to cut right to the winning bleeding ritual. It did eventually go. I was able to get the energy advantage, and I just piled him on, and it eventually killed him. And he wasn't able to do an offense. So that's how that matchup goes. It's very long and irritating, but in the end, because I had so much damage, it went out for me. Otherwise, it goes to Juju. But good game, and thanks for watching.